If you open this video, it means that you're interested in the business analyst position, you want to be business analyst, or you are preparing for the interview. A business analyst position is one of the best positions you can easily start, but it's one of the hardest positions that you can master. It takes time, effort, but I will help you to do that. I'm Nijat. Previously, I was business analyst in Amazon, and now I'm data product owner in one of the investment banks. A business analyst position that was a part of my life, I would say, from my childhood. What I mean is that as a person, as a character, I was always a problem solver of our family or my friends or university, friends, and all of them. So that's why if you learn business analysis from the business analyst book, and then you try to go to the interviews and repeat all this theory, then you are doing wrong. Of course, you should learn it, but in the interviews, you should link all this theory with real practice, give examples, and try to use your soft skills in order to build some connection, some relationship with interviewer, so that both of you feel better, and he or she, interviewer, helps you to pass your interview. Of course, I was in so many interviews that when I see the interviewer or the recruiter, I almost feel that if this will go to the second round or to the third round or not. And in 90% situations, I can definitely predict that. If you memorize BABOK definitions and go to the interview, you will fail. So that's why you need to do the following things that I will tell you now. Before you go to the interview, you need to understand these three things. Before you give any single answer, so you need to know that the person, interviewer, is looking for the following things: requirement gathering and stakeholder communication. If you have skills about it or not. This job is mainly about more, let's say, political work, is managing many parties at the same time, tech, business, and mitigating risks between them and managing both sides, and to see if you can do it or not, if you have a good communication skills for that or not. Do you think structurally? Do you have a system thinking? Can you take, let's say, notes, or can you think visually or not? And the last thing is that, have you ever done it, or you're describing just what you learned from the books? So these things overall what you're looking for. But let's deep dive it and see what you can specifically do in order to prepare for that. First thing you need to open is job description, company profile, and your CV. So you can use it, or you can prepare by yourself, it doesn't matter. So you take job description and you research company, you take a look to job description, and then you check your CV. Why? Let's start from the company. Let's say if it's a logistic company or banking, finance, or let's say manufacturer, doesn't matter. So this company has a values, mission, vision. They have a products, maybe they have a logistics, clients, suppliers, internal clients or external clients, the sponsors, shareholders, and then company yearly financial results. So it's better for you to know all of them. For example, in my interview, when they asked me why you want to work in our company, because I was interviewed for the data product owner, I answered them that I saw your company is investing yearly X billion dollars for the technology. And of course, if the company is investing that much, it means that there will be so many opportunities to play with tech, and to have so many opportunities to invest time and to see new things, those conditions. So, when we match all this, then job description and CV. Job description is important because whatever they wrote in the job description, they may ask it from you. And if you didn't read job description carefully, and let's say they're asking for the BPMN, business process model and notations, that you need to model processes in the specific software, let's say in Visual. And if you don't know Visual, when you go to the interview and say, I don't know Visual, then it's not good. If you have it in the CV, and you say you don't know it in the interview, then this may not sound good, okay? So you will fail probably from the first attempt. So that's fine. Job description will be your guide, and assume that you can also do a research with AI as well, that what they're asking, what they're looking for. Because sometimes in the business analyst positions, you may see that they're asking too deep, let's say, technical knowledge. In some of them, they're asking more soft skills and the stakeholder management. This depends on company, on the project, the team, and their goals. Some of them are looking for less tech skills, and some of them are looking for more tech skills. So it really depends on the on the position. You cannot you can't say that this company is looking for more technical, this company is looking for less technical, because it depends on the project, on the team, and of course you need to start to prepare. Read each sentence, see what they're looking for, what they want from you, what kind of skill requirement they have, and probably you have about 3, 4, or maximum 5 days, 1 week to prepare for that. So it will be like a deadline for you and start to prepare for that. And the next thing is about CV. Whatever you wrote in the CV probably will be asked in the interview, because I've been in many interviews, 50, 60, and in 99% cases, they either printed my CV or they open in the second screen, the reading from the CV, and they're asking me questions. For example, why did you write this in the CV? Why did you write this skill? Do you know how deep you know? Or let's say in the job description, if you write, let's say, if you increased the speed of that specific process by 10%, they may ask from you, how did you increase the speed of this process by 10%? Can you please describe it? And in this case, you are going to start to describe how you did this with using start cases. Okay, so start cases type of answer question is important. So you talk about the situation, task, actions, and results. If you can't talk about it, they will start to think that full of CV is lie. But if you can describe, if you can pass such a 2-3 questions, they will see your confidence and they will question less about such thing. Okay, they will switch topic or talk about the different thing. And then about the certification skills, if you can during the interview, try to reference them, that while I prepared for the CBAP, while I prepared for the PMP, or if they're, let's say, asking about your Scrum Master or Agile skills, you can reference that I know the skills, and even I prepared for the product owner or Scrum Master certificate, and I've got my certificate last year. So while preparing, I learned this and I learned that. And you can say after I got certificate, I used this product ownership or Scrum Master skills in my work in the following projects, and I did that. This was my action and this was my result. So because of me, let's say we didn't miss any deadlines, or let's say we improved the customer satisfaction by, let's say, by 10%, we increase that. So it really depends on the interview, but this is the overall structure, that you have to know about the company, you have to know exactly what the job description says, because more or less they will describe what they need and you will get what they actually want, and you can prepare accordingly. And the third thing about your CV, you need to be very careful about CV, what you are writing. So keep everything that you actually know and remove whatever you cannot describe in detail in the interview. When you first start the interview, ask from the interviewer what's the project or what's our goals for this year. Because when you ask this question from them, it will make for you easier to tailor your answers based on the projects you are working. Let's say if you are working on more technical, you can promote your technical part during the interview, or if you are working more with the stakeholders, so you can promote your stakeholder management and communication skills during the interview. This is what many people don't do, and of course it not always succeed as this tactic, because there was a cases that I've asked from the interviewers that, can you please describe your team and the process before we start, and they refused us. They said, no, we are following the special plan for the interview, so first only we ask questions from you, and at the end you will have a chance to ask a question from us. But there was a case that interviewer introduced themselves and a team, and then describes the process, why they're looking for a new person. This is what most people don't do, but you can do it, and it definitely will help you. And then questions during the interview. Let's say interview started, you introduce yourself. An introduction is also another, let's say, topic of the video that many people just fail in that phase. You need to be very careful about it preparing, okay? And then question starts, okay? When question starts, there's several type of, let's say, template questions you can find from the internet. But what I recommend you, take those template questions even, use AI or just consult with someone, tailor them and assume what they may ask for this position specific. Again, let's say if it's a stakeholder management, so you may expect about the conflict management. How do you prioritize a request of the different stakeholders and conflict of interest? How do you meet with them and you collect requirements? Okay, there can be different topics, so you can use them, or you can just with someone. Then there are several type of template questions, like about the requirements, about the stakeholder, about the process analysis, about agile skills or traditional or agile, product management or overall business analysis approach, and the technical understanding and the teamwork. It can be, this type of main topics are just overall the template. So you need to have a ready answer for them. And here's another tip that if you have a one answer for the one situation, so always take notes that, let's say, if it's about the requirement gathering, if they will ask a question about working under the tight deadline, so you can adjust this requirement gathering for the working under the tight deadline case as well, so that I collected requirements, but actually we had very limited time, so I worked very carefully and very closely with stakeholders, so I also manage stakeholder expectations, so we have a common understanding about our goal, where we go. So yeah, this type of things you always, if you say always, additionally, it helps. And about requirement casing, additionally, it's important that you understand and have an idea about the project, what you are working on, and what type of requirements are already, we know what type of requirements we may have. Of course, you're asking from the stakeholder, but you need to meet, and in somewhere you're also assuming, but you're also double checking what stakeholder is saying as a requirement. And additionally, you need to understand what the stakeholder actually need and want, so that whatever they say may not be what they actually need. So requirement gathering is not just asking a question from the stakeholder and saying, okay, if you need this, and we'll give you that. Okay, no, it's not everything that we are going to talk in the business analysis. For the business analyst position, everything are interconnected between each other. So stakeholder management, we already talked partially about it. Stakeholder management, you always remember that stakeholder has a limited time to spend with you. So stakeholder is always busy. They mostly don't know what they actually need, but they mostly know what they actually want. So what they want and what they need are different. And taking what they want, you need to write down everything, think about it, then groom and ask questions, clarify, and they come to that point to understand what the stakeholder actually need and what will solve their problem, their pain. So it's not about only asking, sending question and just answer it, and then we just deliver what you need. Okay, it can be a situation that they state what they want, and you take it as a real requirement. So you're working with a team, with developers, and you create it. And then towards to the end of the project, you'll get answer from them that this is not what we actually need, but we need a different thing. So it's a very common case with inexperienced BAs that they don't understand what the stakeholder actually need. So the next thing is about process analysis. Process analysis is PMN and UML, all these diagrams, and modeling the processes. And in this case, of course, we need to have already some requirements and to understand who are the stakeholder, who are the parties, so that we can, let's say, build BPMN diagram. It doesn't matter with AI or not. So we are not talking about that, okay? We are talking about the fundamentals that will help you to pass. because even with the technical stuff, SQL, so AI is not the only thing that will help you. Okay, you need to know fundamentals of process analysis. Of course, you can see as AI as a tool for the process analyzing and prompting and getting a BPM and diagram with AI. But no, this is not things that will help you to pass the interview. Okay. So and the next one is about agile skills. Probably they are working with sprints. Each sprint is mostly 2 weeks, and there are some stakeholders are expecting some results, some features, some product at the end of each sprint. So you can at the same time make sure that you are always one sprint ahead of the development team, because a developer team, if they start next Monday to develop to the new sprint, you have to be one sprint ahead of them, so that everything for the Monday sprint is ready maximum on Friday. So on Monday they can start the new sprint. But if you will just work on the requirements still during the sprint, so it will not help that much. Okay, it will just create a problem for the development team. And the next thing is about the technical understanding. So you need to remember that you're always between the tech and business. Okay, so you need to manage the developers and understand their language as well. So developers are people who are direct, so you need to describe everything to them very specifically. And you need to answer, of course, talk about everything that you have done previously in your previous jobs in the interview. And what we are talking about is like use cases, then to be able to write acceptance criteria for it specifically, and then describe the let's say Jira ticket, and make sure all information is included in the description, while all files attached. Let's say all models are attached, and that explained all logic, what actual customer wants, and to be able to explain everything in a maximum short way, and to cover everything about that request is another skill. Okay, so if you can do it, and you'll always have a good communication and a good relation with us developers, and they will always work on the request successfully, and basically you will not need to move that task to the next sprint. So, and you need to talk about all this stuff in your interview, so that they see that you're also already informed about it and you can do it. After you answer all their questions, and now it's your turn. Probably will have about 10 minutes to ask from them and for their answers. So it's 10 and 15. During this 10 minutes, make sure you collect as much as information from them, so that if you get invitation to the following round, so you will have more data. Let's say job description and the data which you collect from them at the end of the interview. So this will help you to prepare for the next interview and to understand what they're working on, what they're looking for, and how you can tailor your next answers for them. So here you need to ask a question about the team, about some process, how they're working. Let's say, what does the first 3 months length days should look like for the person who is hired, what they expect from the new hire in the following 6 and 12 months, what are the gaps or problems in the team they have now and they want to be solved first. Let's say if you are hired, and then let's say in the first month you already get used to it, to the team, to the process, and what are the things that they want directly you to be involved and solve those issues. How the process looks like, and what kind of help they need. All these questions may seem very simple and very, very logical, but if you ask them and you collect this information, it will be a plus for you, and they will also understand that, okay, this person is really interested about the position and wants to understand the team. And of course, pay attention if they describe the process already in the start of the interview. So don't ask the same questions at the end as well. For example, I remember once I asked about AI usage as well, if they use it or not, and they said, okay, yes, we have internal, company AI chat, we are using it, and we are using for the SQL querying as well. So I said, okay, then fine, so I do as well. So this will not be an issue for us. They even did check my SQL skills because they saw in my CV as well. And after they asked from me to describe several SQL, functions, so I described them, and it was enough. And the last thing, now you have a plan, okay? You need to follow this plan. You need to do all this your homework, and go to the interview and pass. And of course, to pass it, you need to practice. So practice a lot. Write everything, write all your answers. Any questions, make sure that you write as a comment and I will answer.